Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's YunKs. Today, I'll be showing you guys the Waltz. This is a pulse rifle that you can purchase from the future Recoil vendor in the tower. This will cost you 150 legendary marks, and you do have to be at least rank 3 in future Recoil in order to purchase this weapon. Anyway, I do have the vendor version of it, so let's just quickly go over the perks that are on this thing. So for the sights, I run OEG. We have armor piercing rounds and lightweight plus 2 agility. I go with armor piercing rounds because now it gives you just a little extra range. We have perfect balance. This weapon has extremely low recoil and Eye of the Storm. This weapon becomes more accurate as your health gets lower, so I'm just going to go with perfect balance here. And rangefinder, aiming this weapon increases its effective range. Alright, not bad perks, not bad. Anyway, before we get into it, I do want to mention this is a high rate of fire, low impact pulse rifle, very similar to the grasp of Malak. Anyway, let's take a look at the aesthetics. Alright, I must say this thing does look pretty damn badass. Anyway, let's just get right into the gameplay. So the Waltz versus the Ultra Knight for the DPS test. It took me 69 shots to put him down, having to reload twice, each reload clocking in a little over 2 seconds long, each headshot dealing 469 damage, and there are 3 shots per burst, so each burst in total dealing 1,407 damage, and it took me 12.4 seconds to kill him. Alright, we're moving right along in a PvP, and the Waltz will deal 23 damage to the head and 16 damage to the body, but of course this does depend on what range you're at. If you're too far away, you will definitely not get these numbers, but I didn't have too much of a problem with damage drop off on this weapon. As long as I stuck to the medium range encounters, I was fine. As long as I wasn't trying to snipe people, I didn't have a problem with damage drop off. That is what I'm trying to say. So there are 3 shots per burst, like I mentioned earlier, against the Ultra Knight on this pulse rifle. So a full burst to the enemy's head will deal 69 damage, and a full burst to the enemy's body will deal 48 damage. So it'll take a total of 3 bursts to put somebody down if all your shots are headshots, or it'll take a total of 4 bursts and 1 bullet to put somebody down if all your shots are body shots. It could also take 2 bursts to the head and 1 burst and 1 bullet to the body to put your enemy down. What is the time to kill with the Waltz? Well, let's say you land all headshots and it takes 3 bursts. It'll take 0.833 seconds. Pretty damn fast, I must say. This thing has a whole lot of potential to shred through your enemies. Of course, as long as you're accurate and landing those headshots, you shouldn't have a problem putting your enemies down in a timely manner. The Waltz can be a monster and can hit up to a solid medium range, or at least this specific one can due to its perks, without a problem, and probably even a little bit further than that. This pulse rifle could hit fine depending on your perception of range. The Waltz does have a little bit of recoil. Even with perfect balance on this thing, it still has a nice little kick to it. It wants to go up every time you shoot a burst, and this is probably only a nuisance because it's a high rate of fire pulse rifle. If this wasn't a high rate of fire, the recoil would be fine, but you're shooting this thing so damn fast, you're gonna have to learn how to control that recoil, and you may have to adjust your sights every once in a while because, like I mentioned earlier, this thing does want to kick up just a tad bit. You just gotta play with the weapon for a little while. You gotta understand it and learn the recoil, and once you do, this thing really can be a beast. Anyway, guys, go ahead and leave in the comments, do you have the Waltz yet? And if you do, what do you think of it and what perks are on yours? Overall, I had a great time with this pulse rifle. I didn't have a problem whatsoever getting my footage. I found myself getting some nice kill streaks while using the Waltz. It really just feels like a solid weapon that I could get used to playing with in the Crucible. Now, before I go, I do have one little complaint with this pulse rifle, and this really goes for any of the high rate of fire archetype pulse rifles. I found myself running through my mags very quickly, and that's because obviously the high rate of fire. So if you guys ever do use this pulse rifle in the Crucible or even in PvE, doesn't matter, you will find yourself reloading a lot, so just be wary of that. Other than that though, just a very solid pulse rifle overall, at least in my opinion. Anyway, that's pretty much gonna wrap this one up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video, and go ahead and leave a sub if you haven't already if you want to see more weapon reviews similar to this one. I'm always covering weapons here in Destiny. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time.